Hey everybody. So I just recorded and what I tried to put together a intro. I wrote some stuff down and tried to read through it. It felt pretty awkward, but I'm going to put this one out as like a real intro, kind of giving you a background of myself and how I got into this. Yeah, when you listen to it, I mean, I'm sorry, it's pretty awkward. I stutter. You might not understand what I'm saying sometimes because I mumble, but I was trying to read and at the same time not have it sound like I'm reading. And then if you're listening to this one and then you listen to the second part after this, you're going to think it's like, "Oh, Eric, he likes to talk a lot." Yeah, but I really don't. It makes me feel really uncomfortable, but I felt like I needed to do it just to give people an understanding of where we're going with this thing and what's going to happen, hopefully. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy it. This is a quick one, short, so you don't have to listen to me for too long, rambling on. But yeah, and the next part you'll hear. I mean, you can tell I'm kind of reading, I think, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to, put it out there so everybody can understand, and hopefully that will reach some people, and maybe they'll, get something out of it. Like I keep saying over and over and over and over, I just hope somebody gets something out of these, and that's really what it's about. That's all I want, is for somebody to get something out of this positively. I gotta put positively. All right, well, yeah, check it out. The intro that should have came out probably before the first episode, but I'm figuring it out, so I'm recording these and putting them out and thinking of things and like, oh, I should have did this. What about this? So yeah, I've recorded this one and then we'll put it out. I'm putting it out, and yeah, so it'll come out as my second episode. It just as the quick intro to the podcast, Voices from the Planet. All right, thanks, guys. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Voices from the Planet, a podcast. I am your host, Eric. I want to thank you guys for joining, and I hope you guys enjoy what I'm trying to do here. I just want to give you a little background and tell you what's going on. But I do have to start by saying that I have no experience or background in broadcasting, and I've never taken any type of public speaking classes or anything like that. I don't actually like public speaking. It's one of my biggest fears, but I'm trying to get over that. But all along, there was always some kind of feeling that I wanted to do like a show like this and be able to sit down and talk with interesting people about interesting topics, and just to be able to, not have to ask question after question, and just, have a conversation and let it go from there. It it probably started back in my junior year or senior year of high school, when a friend turned me on to a radio program called Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. I think actually back then at the time it might have still been Art Bell, but yeah, it was Coast to Coast AM. He told me that, how cool this show was, and the conspiracies they talk about, aliens, Bigfoot, everything. So I definitely checked it out, and I don't remember what the first topic was or who the first guest was, but I do remember being instantly hooked. Yeah. And it was, I mean, some of the stuff like, Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, stuff everybody's heard about, but some of the stuff that came up was the first time I've ever heard of it, like MK Ultra, the Majestic 12, and that led to like the New World Order and the Illuminati and stuff, all those kinds of conspiracies. And this is a time when I didn't have good internet. I still had dial-up internet and a shitty dial-up internet connection, so I wasn't able to go online that easily and access these kind of things to look up more. But I do remember just listening to Coast to Coast AM every night to see what was going on and what interesting guests they were talking to and what they were talking about. Trying to figure out new things. But I think that was probably the start of my love for talk radio and conspiracies. And I guess like everything paranormal, ghosts, everything. And then everybody knows 2001, 9/11, and I was in college when it happened. I was actually in college to go into hospitality and tourism, the field of hospitality and tourism. So that was pretty shitty. I remember thinking like, fuck, who's gonna be hiring now? Their hotels were laying people off. Like I was graduating soon. It was like, damn, dude, did I make the mistake and pick the wrong field? But I did what I had to, graduated, and got a couple of temp agencies, just doing jobs here and there, working at banquets and that kind of stuff. Then I got a job working at Cheap Tickets. They had a call center here, so I got a job there, and I found that, oh man, I can use their internet. It was pretty cool. So I was able to look up more stuff, go on YouTube, whatever, just check everything out that I couldn't at home because I didn't have good internet. That kind of was around the time that I heard of like Alex Jones, and then that was, if you guys know who Alex Jones is, you guys can understand why I'm kind of giggling, but that would turn me on to all different types of conspiracies, everything. And then especially at the time, post 9/11, that was a big topic. I wasn't like most people, or most people I guess in the conspiracy field, who, so when something happens they automatically know that it's not true, they know it's a false flag, or they know there's some bigger picture. But I was like majority of the people, I just thought, what the fuck, man, like, did this just happen? Is this really happening? Are we being attacked? And I didn't really, yeah, it took me a while. To start to understand what's really going on. Yeah. I guess around that point, got into it, and also started looking into different religions, just on my own. One of my friends who was who took a religion class at a community college had his old book that he gave me, so I just started reading, and it was a textbook, so it was like a cursory look over at all of them. It was pretty interesting though, but it just allowed me to think, okay, which ones do I want to look into more and see what I can get from it. That being said, I was never raised religious in my house. My parents didn't force us to go to church. We did go to church sometimes when we were on Kauai. My dad had a church there, so we'd go there for special occasions, Easter, Christmas, but it wasn't really a big thing in our house. One thing I do remember is my dad telling me at one point about when he was talking about the Bible, he said, if you wanted to read it, try and look at it as if, as stories. And that kind of changed the way I looked at it. I was able to read it not thinking, this is such a religious dogma and stuff. I looked at it just as stories, as if you would read, like, I guess like Lord of the Rings or one of those. But yeah, it was interesting, and that kind of opened my mind to all different religions. One of the religions I really got into was looking at Buddhism, which led me to Taoism, which I really like. It's a beautiful religion. And another one is also Rastafari. I like that one. If you guys know me, you'll probably know why, but yeah, I like it. I like its message. I love reggae music. It's all good. But yeah, so getting back, I continued to listen to different radio programs, Coast to Coast AM, checking out Alex Jones at the time, which led me to find other people, researchers looking at conspiracies and lifting the veil of reality. And those are people like David Icke and Jordan Maxwell and Michael Tellinger, and even watched some videos with Creto Mutwa, who was a Zulu historian. But anyway, then I got good internet, and I was able to really look at all these things like all the time. And yeah, I went pretty deep there into the conspiracy world and hidden knowledge and occult histories and that kind of stuff. It's kind of scary though, when you really look at these things, what they're telling you. Just how everything we're taught to believe is a programming, and that none of this reality is as it seems. Is fucking heavy. But through all that fear and paranoia, one thing that I did get out of it, which I still hold in my heart to this day, was a quote from David Icke, and that was, "Infinite love is the only truth. Everything else is an illusion." Fuck, I mean, it's so simple, yet so deep, to love infinitely. It takes so much courage. So much courage. A lot of the courage that I see in the people who inspire me, and the courage I'm trying to find within myself to be able to live every day, with an open heart. Yeah. But with that in mind, that's when I started to look into things on more of a spiritual level, I guess. A lot of people you listen to will, in this field, I guess, will tell their stories of, their synchronistic experiences or what happened to them to kind of set them on the path that they were on. And I never really thought about mines. I mean, but thinking about it today, I do have one, and it's one of those types of stories, just a random thing. I mean, way back, years ago, me and my wife were at Whole Foods, and we were waiting to check out, and some guy randomly walks up to both of us, and he asks us if we had ever heard of spirit science, and I was, kind of like, no, I haven't, and this is kind of weird. But he explained that, that it's a series on YouTube, and that he told us that we look like the type of people that would be into this kind of shit. And that kind of struck me even more weird. As more weird, I was like, what? All right, well, okay. Usually in those types of things, if people tell me that kind of stuff, I'm just like, yeah, all right, whatever, man. Yeah, cool. Nice to meet you. But for some reason, this one, I felt like, nah, I should look at it. I don't know if it was the name or what, but something told me that you're going to want to remember this one and look it up. So I took out my phone and, made a note of it in my phone, and so that I could go back and look into it. But, so the guy left, said, nice to meet you, whatever. And then typical, I get home, totally forget, and just, go on. But it was maybe like a week later that I was thinking about that guy at Whole Foods and thinking about, that was really weird. And I remembered, oh yeah, I wrote that thing down, so I should go look it up now. So I went and, looked it up on YouTube and found that it's like a series of videos. It's animated. Just a guy talking about everything. Everything. Atlantis, Lemuria, crystalline structures, stuff about chakras, meditating, everything. I mean, if you haven't heard or checked out Spirit Science, I highly encourage you to do it. Yeah, it's interesting, and it's easy to follow because it is animated, and they make it kind of fun when they do it. So if you haven't, check it out. But checking out Spirit Science led me to find other YouTubers, I guess. Ralph Smart was one of them, and Teal Swan, the Spiritual Catalyst. And Ralph Smart is Infinite Waters. But you can check them out too. They're also great for inspiration and that kind of spiritual stuff. But yeah, and that just led me on this path of, trying to live every day open, learning more along the lines of that. As you can tell, I'm not probably going to be completely there yet as we record with these people, but I mean, I'm on my journey and this is my process. And that being said, here I am today putting out a podcast with no experience. Sometimes, you have those inner voices and they talk to you and tell you, like, who do you think you are? who do you think you are that you can make a podcast? Who wants to listen to you? But I mean, I think a lot of people deal with those thoughts, and it's just overcoming them and getting past that and knowing that I think there's a bigger purpose for this. I mean, for me as well, to meet these people and learn and grow, but also to reach out to people and give them the experience of hearing what these people have to say. I think it's valuable. I think it could be powerful in some people's lives. But yeah, I guess that's where we are. I do want to thank everybody for taking the time to check it out. I really appreciate it. I talked to some people already, and they gave me some positive feedback, and yeah, it feels good. But yeah, I hope it continues and hope it gets better. I hope you guys continue to check back. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. Alright, so I just listened to that podcast that you guys just listened to, and yeah, that was fun listening to that. Damn. But yeah, just want you guys to know I really appreciate you guys checking it out and keeping an open mind with this thing, and I'm trying my best, but yeah, so there'll be more of those. So check back. Yeah, love you guys. Peace.